The United States rejected a surprise offer by NATO ally Poland on Tuesday to transfer its Russian-made MiG-29 fighter jets to a U.S. base in Germany as a way to replenish Ukraine's air force in its defense against invading Russian forces. The United States has sought to speed weapons deliveries to Ukraine. But the prospect of flying combat aircraft from NATO territory into the war zone raises serious concerns for the entire NATO alliance, the Pentagon said. NATO has said it does not want direct conflict with Russia, a fellow nuclear-armed power, and President Joe Biden has ruled out sending U.S. troops into Ukraine to fight, something the Pentagon has said would apply to troops on the ground or in the air, flying missions. It is simply not clear to us that there is a substantive rationale for it, Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said of Poland's proposal. We will continue to consult with Poland and our other NATO allies about this issue and the difficult logistical challenges it presents, but we do not believe Poland's proposal is a tenable one. Poland's foreign ministry announced on Tuesday that it was ready to deploy its MiG-29 jets to Ramstein Air Base in Germany and put them at the disposal of the United States. It urged other members of the alliance that had other such aircraft to do the same. The U.S. State Department's No. 3 diplomat said the Polish proposal caught the United States by surprise. To my knowledge, it wasn't pre-consulted with us that they planned to give these planes to us, State Department Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs Victoria Nuland told a Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing. So I think that actually was a surprise move by the Poles, she said. The impasse raises questions about the viability of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's plea for European countries to provide Russian-made planes, an issue he underscored during a video call Saturday with U.S. lawmakers. U.S. lawmakers are eager to speed military aid to Ukraine and are pushing the Biden administration to facilitate the aircraft transfer. But Poland's announcement could also reflect its own sensitivities. Poland is supporting Ukraine with defensive weapons, but has said it would not send jets as it is not a direct party to the conflict between Ukraine, which is not a NATO ally, and Russia. Russia's defense ministry warned this week that countries offering airfields to Ukraine for attacks on Russia may be considered as having entered the conflict. Nuland said the main issue was to assess what Poland's immediate needs would be given it is adjacent to the conflict. Poland they benefit from full air security from the NATO alliance. The main issue is to evaluate what Poland's immediate needs are in the context of being a neighbor of this conflict, she said. Separately, the U.S. military announced it would reposition 2 Patriot missile batteries to Poland to proactively counter any potential threat to U.S. and allied forces in NATO territory. President Volodymyr Zelensky said he is no longer pressing for NATO membership for Ukraine, a delicate issue that was one of Russia's stated reasons for invading its pro-Western neighbor. In another apparent nod aimed at placating Moscow, Zelensky said he is open to compromise on the status of 2 breakaway pro-Russian territories that President Vladimir Putin recognized as independent just before unleashing the invasion on February 24. I have cooled down regarding this question a long time ago after we understood that NATO is not prepared to accept Ukraine, Zelensky said in an interview aired Monday night on ABC News. The alliance is afraid of controversial things and confrontation with Russia, the president added. Referring to NATO membership, Zelensky said through an interpreter that he does not want to be president of a country which is begging something on its knees. Russia has said it does not want neighboring Ukraine to join NATO, the transatlantic alliance created at the start of the Cold War to protect Europe from the Soviet Union. In more recent years, the alliance has expanded further and further east to take in former Soviet bloc countries, infuriating the Kremlin. Russia sees NATO enlargement as a threat, as it does the military posture of these new Western allies on its doorstep. Shortly before he shocked the world by ordering the invasion of Ukraine, Putin recognized as independent 2 separatist pro-Russian republics in eastern Ukraine, Donetsk and Lugansk, that have been at war with Kiev since 2014. Putin now wants Ukraine, too, to recognize them as sovereign and independent. When ABC asked him about this Russian demand, Zelensky said he was open to dialogue. "I'm talking about security guarantees," he said. He said these 2 regions have not been recognized by anyone but Russia, these pseudo-republics. But we can discuss and find the compromise on how these territories will live on. What is important to me is how the people in those territories are going to live who want to be part of Ukraine, who in Ukraine will say that they want to have them in, Zelensky said. So the question is more difficult than simply acknowledging them, the president said. This is another ultimatum, and we are not prepared for ultimatums. What needs to be done is for President Putin to start talking, start the dialogue instead of living in the informational bubble without oxygen.